Hey, welcome to the third episode of the Skills for Life podcast. I'm with YoungTN. He's a producer. I believe you're still in high school,
Yeah,
or
so yeah, I
yeah,
just
last
finished next
year.
month.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
this is a high school student. Really cool guy. I've known him for a couple years now. He went to my first event,
yeah,
which is really cool. So if you could just introduce yourself, who you are, what you do, and we can get into the questions.
for sure. And I appreciate you for having me. So my name's Young Tien. I'm 17 years old, and I'm based in Toronto. I'm a producer, and I've worked with Lil Baby, NLE Choppa, Big Sean, Travis Scott, Lil Durk, many different major artists in the game. And I've just really been just grinding hard and trying to land as many songs and placements and really just get my music heard everywhere.
Yeah. So obviously you don't get like that sort of success overnight.
For sure.
I know I definitely know for you there's a lot of consistency involved. Can you talk about like the everyday like small things that have attributed your success? Like is there some like I know it's not like a straight path. I know there's very little things that contribute to what you do. Like for me, I'm always working. Even if I'm not putting out a YouTube video, I'm still working. Um,
Mhm.
were there little things getting to this point that you've done, or other sort of attributes that you attribute your success to?
Yeah, like honestly, I think one thing that really helped me was just school. Like doing my homework on time and just meeting deadlines and stuff for projects and stuff. Like I found that work ethic to really come into like music. Like I wouldn't be working as hard as I am if it wasn't really for school. I think a lot of that ethic there and those habits were built just straight from school and just always trying to do the best I can. And really also like prioritizing your time, like making sure that you have 24 hours in a day, right? Maybe you spend like 6 to 8 hours for sleep, and then maybe 7 hours for school, and then you have all that time left to do whatever, right? And so I would use that free time to make beats or do some business, maybe DM a few people, try to network, maybe even go to an event. Usually on the weekends I do that, and just that's prioritizing your time is really important, I say, especially in high school, since we have all the time really, and there's nothing we have to pay, no bills or nothing like that, right? So for most people at least. So
Yeah. So into the networking part, a lot of people, right, when they're in high school, even in college, they're looking to get into the professional field. In your case, you're in the music industry. When you start off, you really know no one, right? And I'm
right.
sure at the beginning you didn't know anyone. You probably didn't really know how to network. I know you were at my first event. I'm sure you're way better
Mhm.
at networking at this point.
For
Um,
sure.
so how do you get to a point where you learn, even if you're not necessarily like a great speaker or know a lot of people? How did you start? I know a lot of people start like with social media, right? That's how I started. I
Yeah.
started messaging a lot of people. um, in your industry specifically, what have you found that works? Yeah, like what like how did you start from like a producer that no one knows into someone with just huge songs now?
Yeah. And you're exactly right. I started off, I think the best way to start is Instagram. Like, going to, like, let's say if there's an artist you really want to work with, you could go into their followers and you can look through every single account and see who the manager is. Because usually people have it in their bio, oh, manager for Apology, or manager for Travis Scott, A&R for this and that, Columbia, whatever label. And you just try to reach out to these people, and you need to find like some sort of value, because you can reach out to all these people, but it's like they're not gonna respond back to you if they don't see any value in it. Like you gotta provide something to the table, and even though it may seem hard, like at first I thought it was really hard. I'm like, oh, like provide something to the table, like what, money? Like I have to pay to get all my placements? No, that's not what I'm really talking about. It's like what's different, what sets you apart? Like for example, like let's say between a small producer, let's say I was like really small, I started off, and Murder Beats, right? And Murder Beats and I DM the same A&R. Who are they going to really respond to, right? Murder Beats, because he has all the credits, he has that fan base, and he has all, like, just different stuff like that. So I think you need to start building that, your fan base, your credits, even if it's small credits. I started with like insanely small credits, like people from my local area in Toronto, and I just built my way up. And also just getting your name, like you want your name to appear in as many people's eyes as possible. Like you want to be continuing to post stories, you want to comment on people's stuff, right? You want just people to see YoungTN literally everywhere, or your name everywhere, you know? So I think that's a really key thing. It's just, it's like I feel like it's like an unconscious thing. Like when people see your name, they're gonna remember it, and when they see it frequently, like going to networking events, like and meeting people face to face in your local area. Even if you're in like a small city, try to see if you could connect with some people, you know, because you never know who's gonna take off, and you want to believe in people that you know, you really like music wise. Like I would build with people that I really listen to, and I would add their songs to my playlist, right? And so just meeting a bunch of people, I say, is like
Yeah.
face to face is a great thing.
I think just keeping those connections regardless of like industry. Like I'm talking to you right now and we've known each other for a long time, but we don't do the same stuff, right?
For
So
sure.
I'm running this podcast. If I didn't know you, that's just a guest I don't have, right? That's like an example. I think that's really interesting. I think early days, um, I just wanted to ask you like how you even got into being interested in music. Obviously, it's a
Yeah,
universal thing. A lot of people enjoy music, but what made you want to make music? Because a lot of people enjoy it, but not a lot of people want to make it.
for
So
sure.
how did you sort of discover that love for just making music?
So this was back in like when I was like grade 8, and basically, like, you know, I've been listening to like EDM music, and like, you know, just that genre of music. And always wondered like, oh, how do these guys get these crazy like synths or these crazy sounds and make them into like masterpieces, right? And yeah, I've just always been interested into music. Same thing with like hip hop music. I'm like, how do people do this? And then I just looked it up one day, how to make beats, and then I went to GarageBand and I started off there. Uh, and you know, I still have my first beat to this day. It was on my sister's laptop, and I just made it on the sofa, just randomly having fun. And I really got interested into it. And then my music teacher was also sort of you know, he was a producer as well.
Yeah.
He had like the software and everything, and I'd go to his laptop after school and, you know, work on make some beats, you know. And I probably I bought like a little MIDI keyboard, you know, like this thing, and I would bring it to school every day, and, you know, try to make beats on his laptop, and then I would eventually get the software, and, you know, I just continue. I was just having fun with it, and I don't know, like it's like it was a hobby at first, and then I really wanted to get placements with my favorite artists, and then I just kept working towards that ever since, you know, I started networking and stuff. That's all happened.
Yeah, I think it's very similar for me. Like I would bring a camera around everywhere when I was with my
Yeah,
friends and stuff like that, and that eventually led me to wanting to photograph my favorite artists.
right,
So like for me, I started working with labels like in 2019.
right,
After a while, right? So it's definitely like the daily things that really attribute to that. I know for a while you're making like a couple beats a day. Obviously at first you were still learning, but then it definitely progresses where you're doing stuff every day and you're not really noticing the results like right away. But definitely, you could definitely get better and better. Like for me, what actually helped me was my YouTube channel. When I'm making up tutorials every single day, uh, obviously I'm doing it for YouTube, but during the process, I'm learning a lot of stuff. Like I'm getting better at public speaking. I'm making these
mhm,
YouTube videos. I'm getting better at like teaching people stuff, and I'm
for
also
sure.
like refining my skills, right? So that's what I found the benefit of making those YouTube videos was I was practicing every single day. Um, and yeah, so that's really it for the questions. As for the last one, I just want to talk about your future plans. You're in high school. You're graduating this year. What are your plans for the future? Do you want to be doing this forever? Because
Mhm.
I know a lot of people, they have multiple professions. I know I was talking to a certified Benji. It was like the
Yeah.
last episode, I believe, and he was talking. He wants to get into the business world too. Where
Mhm.
do you see yourself going, and as sort of like the future of your career? Do you want to just keep getting more placements? Do you want to eventually build the YoungTN brand? What's your focus, and what's your focus after school, and sort of your plans?
Yeah. So, like, I want to continue doing music for like, you know, for my 20s, when I'm like 20 years old, and I want to like just like build a brand like the Young TN brand, and I want to eventually be able to have like a label or something, or manage a couple producers, or just help the youth out. Like I think a lot of like especially young producers, there's not, I don't know, I feel like there's not many resources, or you can't really know what to stand. Like I had to do my own research just by asking people. There's nothing online where you can search up, oh, how to get a lawyer or where to find a lawyer. Like it's weird. Like and I was struggling at first for sure, especially with business side. So I think something like that where I could help people out, like a label and stuff like that. I just want to become like a CEO one day, like a boss, of my own company, and then we'll see where life takes me after that. Like I still never thought about, oh, what's going to happen after music, but I want to be able to have multiple passive streams of income and do some investing. Not just in music, but like in stocks or crypto, stuff like that. And just kind of go from there.
Yeah, that's super interesting. I'm trying to learn that stuff now. I think
Yeah,
it's super valuable.
for
Even if
sure.
you're not like directly investing, I think it's important to just have just that information so you can make better decisions for your future. I
Yeah,
think when you're informed like that, it's like you're taking in mind the future, not just now. Um, so like, because every single day, those daily habits, like saving money every single day, like not
for
making
sure,
that purchase, it could definitely help. Or maybe even just building your craft every single day.
for sure.
A lot of people won't see the results right away, but in the long run and for your future self, I feel like it's super important. Like if you weren't bringing that MIDI keyboard to school every
Yeah,
day, it might have been a little different. Like you might have
yeah,
like lost that passion maybe
for
to
sure.
make music. If you didn't meet that certain person, like your music teacher, for example, like that, like those little things really add up. And I feel like a lot of people are looking for like the grand picture, like the end result. I feel like a lot of it is in the process,
For
um,
sure.
in the early days. So yeah, I appreciate you being on. I think you're a really cool person to talk to, because in your position, there's not a lot of people specifically in your position when you're in high school and you're making music for like Travis Scott, right? Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, any last things you want to say? If you can plug yourself, where people can find you and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, you can find me on Instagram at YoungTN, YOUNGTN. Also Twitter, YouTube. Mainly Instagram is like the thing though for me. And some last words I would say, like especially for young people, is just work. Like find something to do. Don't just sit around and watch Netflix all day. I feel like that's like even like it's good to have watch some shows, but don't sit around all day and do it. Or play video games all day unless you're trying to go pro. But find something to do and stick with it and just continue doing it. If you lose interest, move to something else. And it's better to experience a lot of things than just sit around, right? And you can figure out, you can make decisions after that as to what you want to do for after high school. So I think that's something I would tell everyone to do.
Yeah, thank you for that. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode, and we'll definitely bring on other guests in the future. And yeah, that's about it for this episode. We'll see you in the next one.